By Philip Whiteside, news reporter. The Syrian army has said it is continuing to fight Islamic State in pockets of territory in the desert, hours after the group withdrew from its last stronghold. The regime of Bashar al Assad said the fall of Albu Kamal effectively marks the end of the militants' project to establish and operate a self-declared independent nation. The liberation of Albu Kamal city is very important because it signals the general fall of the terrorist Daesh organization's project in the region, a statement from Syria's General Command said. It added that troops are now fighting the last remaining IS fighters in the Syria's eastern desert. Video. British jihadi says he played PlayStation rather than fight for, as U.S. officials believed there were between 2,500 and 3,500 IS militants around Albu Kamal, including leading members of the group. It comes as police detained more than 100 suspected Islamic State group militants in a sweep in the capital, Ankara, according to state-run media. There are fears that many of the surviving members of IS may have slipped across the Syrian and Iraqi borders in an attempt to flee. Video. How should UK deal with returning jihadists? About 1,500 officers from Turkish police anti-terror and intelligence units took part in early morning raids on about 250 addresses, the Anadolu news agency reported. It added that authorities have arrest warrants for 144 other IS suspects, some of whom are members of a local group that supports fighters in Iraq and Syria. CNN Turk said police in the northwestern city of Bursa are also holding 27 suspects, including some Syrians, over alleged links to Islamic State. Video. Deserted area inside Raqqa. Iraqi forces seized Qaim, the town controlling a strategic crossing between Iraq and Syria on the other side of the border from Albu Kamal, last week. It left Albu Kamal as the last urban center in the hands of IS in Syria and Iraq after the fall of Deir el-Zor last week in Raqqa in October. IS remains in the Iraqi village of Rawa and holds a significant amount of territory in Libya and some isolated pockets elsewhere. Video. How should returning British IS fighters be treated? A US-backed coalition, of which the UK is a part, has supported a campaign against IS in Syria by Kurdish and Arab militias. There are concerns that the defeat of IS will lead to Syrian forces and their allies, and Iraqi forces, turning their attention to territory seized by US coalition-backed Kurds. On Thursday morning, Iraq's central bank ordered private banks to close their branches in the Kurdistan region within a week to avoid a ban on dollar sales. Meanwhile, a top advisor to President Assad said Syria would not give on Kurd-occupied Raqqa and regards US and Turkish troops as illegal invader forces which it would deal with.